I'm very curious to hear more about your experience, your ayahuasca experience.
Yeah, so I was 50-50 if I wanted to do it, because just heard all different experiences, and I don't actually know anyone that's done it. No one from the area that I've lived in. I just don't know anyone that's done it. And there was maybe one guy that I heard did do it, and his experience after it changed him as a person, but in the wrong way. But then I was speaking to my therapist about it, and she's very spiritual, and she believes in connecting and the higher self and stuff like that. And I asked her advice, because I speak to her a lot about that. And she says, if you come to me and said this to me 3 years ago to do it, I would have said no, because my mindset wasn't right. I was a little bit weak, to be honest with you, a little bit fragile. But she says, now I would say it's your choice to go and do it. So she didn't tell me to go do it. So I thought that was like the step for her to say, yeah, okay, I think it's okay for you to go do it. So I actually found the person through someone who comes to the yoga studio, actually, and she was actually giving me a facial at the time at a place, and we was talking about it. I was saying, I'm really interested in doing this. Do you know anything about it? And she was like, yeah, actually, I just done it recently. And she went, it was the best experience I've ever had. Like, no bullshit. Like, straight up, she said that to me. And I was just like, wow. Like, what she was going, and she couldn't even put it into words. And that's what fascinated me more, because how she felt after and how she sees life differently and stuff like that. And like I said, I would only believe that so much because I've not experienced it, right? I'm not someone to believe in something unless I've seen it. And I said, can I have the contact? She said, yeah. She made the intro. I got this guy. He brought his team, etc., etc. We got a place to do the whole ceremony in. It was for 2 days, and I was like a little bit 50-50 about the whole thing, because I don't know nothing about this guy. It was all a bit mad. I was reading into it. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do it now. Like, if I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do it. I don't hold back on anything. And so the first night, they obviously cleansed the whole house. They gave us like a cleansed drink. And typically, I've heard horror stories like, you know, you go to the toilet a lot, you're sick and all this. I didn't have any of that. So, you know, I'm putting that to bed straight away. If anyone thinks you get all of these crazy symptoms, it's down to your body at the end of the day. My body, I didn't have these bad experiences with it. So there was someone else there with me, one of my friends, and they kind of said they went into the trip the first night. I didn't. I was up till like 4 o'clock the next day in the morning, didn't go into it. I was like, I feel like I've made the wrong decision here. I was half thinking to leave, to be honest with you. I thought, I'm not staying another night feeling like this. He was like, no. I told the person, he was an experienced guy for sure. And the next day we'd done it again, but he looked in my eyes, he said a prayer. I think he really he understands you deeply. And he gave me quite a lot. He gave me a whole cup for it. It was usually a shot, so he gave me a whole cup and then 2 more shots. So it was a lot he gave me. My friend went into it first, and their experience was like, and he was saying they're going through death and this and that. They were going for about an hour and a half, screaming this and that. And I thought, wow. And I thought I wasn't going to get into my experience because I was so like, what's going on here? Like, I was so like aware about it. And I even then left again. I nearly left. I said, look, I'm going to go. And he said, no, just wait. Went through it. I went into the other room because I wanted to concentrate. And I went through this. It hit me. It hit me. And they talk about like the mother of the spirit and stuff like that. It first started where I saw it was definitely a woman, but it wasn't like a human, if that makes sense. And I went through this whole journey of seeing different things, it was like a different worlds that I was seeing, I was experiencing, I was going through it all. Like, it was deep. It was again, I still can't put my words to it, to be honest with you. And I've heard that you put it together after the experience, and that's my biggest thing is I'm still trying to work that out. But I think one thing I've taken from it is that I'm asking more now. I want to find out more. It interests me, and like I said, I think at the end of it, which was just like the crazy thing, is that I've lived a life of maybe slightly darkness, anger and this and that and frustration. I've never experienced myself to be so happy and pure and cleansed, and like I just felt like my body had changed because of how much I was smiling, I was laughing, I was happy about it. And I think that's like my biggest takeaway, is how I felt after. Yeah, I saw loads of crazy things, right? And I still can't put my words to what I saw, but what I felt after, I felt like this for about an hour and a half, where I was still on my own, I was still in it, but it was like a happiness feeling. And like I said, I just really need to reiterate this point. I'm not someone to make stuff up and say, I saw this, so this means this, because I've heard lots of crazy stories. Generally, you can't, I don't care how much money you've earned, how much success you've had, this feeling that I had beats all of it.
Yeah.
So that's my experience with it. And I would never advise someone to do it, but I would say to everyone I speak to, you have to do it, because you cannot miss something like this across your whole life. It's an experience that you'll never ever get anywhere. So I'm never going to say, right, everyone should go and do it. But if someone asked me, I would say my recommendation is you should never go through life and not do it, because what you might find and might see and might take the blocker out and feel, you can't put words to it. It's
an incredible tool, right? It's so incredible, and it's like you said, it's an experience that has to be had, right? I can't put into words any of my experience either. I've been doing it for 20 years now, right? And working with a lot of different medicines on my own, but also traveling, working with shamans, like all over. Every experience is unique. Every experience takes you somewhere else. Every experience gives you new lessons, right?
Yeah.
You're working with like master teachers. That's what I feel. I don't know what it is. I can't put into words. I won't try to define what it is, right? I connect to a female energy a lot, right? Like the mother energy, I connect to that a lot. And every time I feel like it's a consciousness expander. It expands the possibilities. You go deeper into this experience of what's possible, right? I think a lot of us are stuck at the surface level, right? We're at the surface level of what this human experience is, right? And most people can't go deeper, right? This cracks you wide open and can take you all the way in, right? And what's been so powerful for me is combining the two, right? They work together. The breath work, the meditation, and the psychedelics for me have been like, those have been my master teachers, right? Those two in tandem together, right? The breath has been a powerful tool to use during psychedelics to help me go deeper, to navigate like those stormy, challenging moments. And in the beautiful moments, right, to go deeper into those, right? And then afterwards, like you said, to unpack, to find the meaning, to find the lessons, because they're in there, right? But you have to do the work afterwards to keep that connection, to truly understand and to work and unpack the chaos that you're in, right? Because it's crazy what you're in. The visuals are beyond words, right? Like you're seeing things that language is not designed to describe, because they're otherworldly, right? I don't know what that space is, right? But you're entering a different space. And it's your job to bring back the little nuggets of gold, right? That's what I feel like I'm exploring. And there's an art to that, right? Over time, is going into those spaces, finding those lessons, pulling them in, and then making sure that you integrate them, make them part of you, right? Yeah. So a lot of times I've seen a lot of people have these powerful experiences. They connect to God, source, whatever it is. They have these powerful, powerful messages that come, but it's very easy to go back into your patterns, right? Your set patterns. So it's still fresh. Sometimes it takes me months. Sometimes it takes me 6 years, 6 months. Sometimes it takes me a year to fully unpack all of the lessons, right? But you're doing the other work. The breath and the meditation is how you'll unpack it, where all the lessons will come, and it will give you and guide you on how to make it part of you, right? Whatever it gave you, right?
For sure.
And whatever it gave you is what it's meant to give you, right? And as this process goes, like we talked a lot about this, it's listening to your intuition. I never told you you should do it, you shouldn't do it. I said, what do you feel, right? Don't do it until it calls you and you feel it, right? Of course you're going to be scared and nervous, right? I'm still scared and nervous, right? It's challenging, right? And fully integrate whatever this experience was, and then wait until it calls you again. It might be a year, it might be 2 years, it might be 3 years, whenever that calling comes, right? When you're ready for the next lesson.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always ready for lessons. I don't know if I'm ready to do that again just yet. Yeah, it was powerful. So